This week on Doubling Down on Freedom, we're on week 8 of 6. Yep, you heard that right. We're going the wrong way. We're going to walk through, give you an update, and we're going to talk about the decision to paint yourself versus paying someone. Then we're going to go through the 3-step paint process that we chose to use. And after the first day, we got it down and we zoomed. So by the end of this video, hopefully you'll have a good understanding of the factors you need to decide whether you're going to paint yourself or hire someone else out, and how to do it. When making the decision on whether you're going to paint or pay someone, there's a couple factors we always take into account. The 3 biggest factors are time, money, and capability. So we clearly had the time, but that's something you're going to have to calculate how long you think it's going to take you. What I always do is I say, hey, it's going to take me a week. That's what I said for this project. And then I add 50% because I'm not a professional. And you tell me how far you think we got after doing the walkthrough. The second factor is money. When we were trying to decide what to hire out for this job, we got quotes for a little bit of everything. And what they told me was 14 grand to paint a 2,900 square foot house. And I don't know, when I look at how much something's gonna cost, I think about how much time it's going to take me. And then I look at how much we make, and I do a calculation based on that. And 14 grand, that's a lot of months of salary. That's like 7 months of rent where we're paying. Time was not a factor for rushing, so I was like, no. Altogether, I think the materials cost me around anywhere between $1,200 and $1,500 for all the paint, all the new supplies, naps, everything that I needed, tape. So $1,500, I like that a lot better. As far as experience, I've done a couple renovations in the past, and so I'm not a complete newbie on what needs to happen and the process of actual painting and making it look nice, which clearly is where I got the week time frame, and knowing how, I don't want to say anal retentive, how picky I am. I knew that I would be anal retentive enough to be able to do the quality job that I would expect for 14 grand or decently comparable to 14 grand. Whatever that job is, this room is all done. So based on all those factors, it was well worth us keeping this in-house and us doing this paint job. I say us because the family really pitched in. While I did most of the common areas, the girls have been focusing on their bedrooms, which you're getting ready to see really soon, and they're not as blah and bland as I am. That's interesting, isn't it? I don't know why these kids like dark colors, but they do. The Grand's room is not painted. I do have the closet done. Ta-da! But I'm waiting for ceiling texture to be done before I can start painting this. One of the things that you're going to need to take into account that I didn't have to, because I ripped most of it off because most of the baseboard and the trim was very used. And with the quality of the reno that we're doing, I wanted to make sure those details looked nice and it was worth the money. So I'm saving a lot of time by not painting trim, but I am gonna have to spend time on painting all that trim and then measuring and cutting it and getting it put up. So the time saved here is going to be a time requirement later on. The nice thing is I'm using an air sprayer to paint all of those at once, so I can paint 40 boards, make it look really nice, cut them, and then trim will go straight in. Another factor you gotta think about is we don't have anything to move in here because we don't have any of our stuff in here. That makes a huge difference. When you think about your time horizon and how long it's gonna take you to get the job done, you gotta think about how long is it gonna take to move the bed, cover the bed, move the dresser, like whatever the case is. And that could add a significant amount of time, an absolute ton of time. So because I got behind, I really started painting on Tuesday. So Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. So I'm at 5 days in on this, and not only was I behind, there was some paint prep that I missed that I wasn't happy with. I didn't really miss it. I was not happy with the quality. And so I went back and did almost a whole day's worth of paint prep. And then the primary bedroom was the first bedroom that I did. And I used a 9-inch snap on all of it, trying to make sure that my technique was good and I was content with how it was going to show up. And that took an entire day. So once I got that done, I mean, really, you're talking 3 days to paint the rest of the house. Okay, let's talk about the 3-step process that we use to paint. And I will tell you, there's one hero in this whole thing. I've never used a 4-inch roller, and you'll see in the video how I used it and how close I could get to stuff. And that saved a ton of time on cutting in. And I was really, really happy with it. It also allowed me to get the bigger rollers closer to the edge for texture and not have to worry about paint coverage, which was a big deal. And I think you can see it minimally. So the first step I did was clearly taping off any trim that I needed to tape off. I went around all windows, doors, ceiling, floors, all that, and I got as close as I could to each one of those. Where I taped off, I could actually get this right along the edge, and the tape helped make sure that it wouldn't get on the trim. I also went in between anywhere there was a 90 that both sides were getting painted. So in the corners, I went and did both sides. The extra nap on the end of this really helped get in there and eliminated all brush strokes. I'm super liked it. I did use a lot of paint with this, meaning it was heavy when I applied it so that I wouldn't have to come back and do it again. Next thing we did was we cut everything in. I knew that traditional cutting in, from my experience, because I'm low experience, because I'm not the best person at cutting in, I knew that we were gonna have to go over it twice. So I edged everything with the 4-inch roller, and then I went and cut everything in. So I went heavy on the paint, and the example that I was taught was, if this is the line, you're gonna go just below it with heavy paint, and on the wall, you're gonna be able to tell when you're starting to run out of paint. Once you do, you stop, then you cut back in and you take that excess paint, and then just the tips here at the end is what's hitting that 90-degree corner. And that is absolutely the best way. It gives a nice amount of paint. And so your second coat is gonna be required, but like on the master bedroom, I went over the whole thing, but there was probably only a third of it that really you could see anything behind that because I used that technique. So I was super happy with that. So after the 4-inch, then you cut in, and the easy part, honestly, is the 9-inch or the 18-inch roller. This is one of those times that I'm not gonna tell you that you can cheap out. You absolutely cannot cheap out. So between Wooster and Purdy, I think they make the best products, and I don't get paid to say that. Like, I'm just a user. I used the 3/4 inch nap. The walls had a 3/4 inch nap. It gives a little bit of a texture and ripple, which is what I needed to hide all the drywall work that I did. Or should I say blend in? Because previously they used a 3/4 inch, mine was all slick. I really needed that 3/4 inch nap to get that texture so it would blend better. We're just gonna use this as an example. For a 9-inch roller, pretend that's this right now. You have this arm, and if you've painted, the 4-inch is really good because there's not a lot of give. But on the 9-inch, like, you can press too hard on this way or that way, and then you get beads or runs, you get lines down the side. You gotta keep rolling those out. That takes way more time than you think it does. And I was like, oh, it's just painting. Like, that's what we've gotta do. With the 18-inch, it is on a system that is connected at the ends. Holy Santa Claus crap. It is ridiculous how much of a game changer that is. The 18-inch did cover more square footage each roll, but honestly, the time saver was keeping it equal against the wall and flat and not having to worry about those. It was just amazing. So I let most of the paint set up for about 5 or 6 hours, which is what it required. And then I cut in again and I was done with that room. There are a lot of other little steps that you're gonna wanna do. If you have newer outlets or you don't wanna get paint on your outlets, clearly I didn't say take off the paint, the outlet covers, tape the outlets up, light switches, light switch covers, light fixtures, take all that down. We were lucky that part of the process was already done. For me, most of my outlets and light switches are getting changed out, so I didn't care. If I could give any tip on any part of the process, I would say cutting in is the most challenging. You have to have a steady hand and practice makes perfect. So what I would do if I were trying to practice this, especially starting out, because it's gonna save you so much time. It's so worth 30 minutes, 40 minutes of practicing, is if you know you're gonna paint a room, go to a corner of a room because you don't need a ladder, you don't need to move anything, hopefully, and practice cutting in sideways with a healthy amount of paint and then coming back on that second pass and getting it right up to the line. That would, I would say, would be the biggest payoff and bang for your buck. On a scale of 1 to 10, the new 18-inch roller that we bought just for this and the 3/4 inch naps that we used, priceless purchase. Absolutely priceless. When I see professionals with them, it's not because they cover more square footage or surface area. It's because of the things that it eliminates when you use them. With that said, I would say that even a 9-inch, instead of using the arm crazy ones like this, I would go for the full both-sided. It makes a huge difference. I'm curious what everybody thinks of this color. The challenge that we had was the beige that you see in the back, it doesn't really go with gray, and our new cabinets are gonna be gray. So we needed to find a color that was compatible with the beige, the cream, the whatever, the neutral ground. I think that's the color that we got. And also would be compatible with the gray. And I'm gonna be honest with you, you see a lot of this aloe is what it's called. You see a lot of it right now, but once we get those gray cabinets up, I think it's gonna be a perfect match. Tell me what you think. I'd love to hear your perspective. If you're thinking about doing a painting project and trying to decide whether you want to do it yourself, I hope this video was helpful. These are some of the things that we took into account. Also, I hope that the 3-step paint process that I showed you will be helpful as well if you do take on that painting challenge. For me, 14 grand, no freaking way. Now, I will tell you, we did get some crazy news. While time has not been a factor, someone probably was watching our videos and goes, challenge accepted. I'm going to make your time more valuable. And how did they do that? Well, our landlord said, we're selling the house. So you need to be able to be ready to show it at any time starting on Monday. So now we have a 30-day rolling deadline on when we need to be out of that house. And it only makes sense that we move into this house and not have to move everything 2 and 3 times. So I've got a little bit of fire underneath my hooger-doo, and we're gonna see how quick we can get this thing finished and still do a great job, because quality is not getting sacrificed for time. So I say now. Well, thanks for coming along on this update and in this journey. If you found value, I really would appreciate if you could support us the freest way that I can think of and that I know, and that's like, subscribe, comment, send it to a friend. We are trying to grow this channel because we need to make some decisions on growing up, and unfortunately this channel may or may not be in it. We'll see. This week we're shooting for a bunch of comments. The algorithm really, really values comments, and if you don't know that, it does. And it actually decides on how many impressions and how many times this gets shared naturally through YouTube. So whatever you want to comment on, I'd appreciate it. If you have an idea for the house, if you hate the paint color, tell me. I'd love to hear it. I picked it out. And as always, I'm going to ask you to do me a favor. If somebody hasn't already asked you this week, do me a favor. Make the day you deserve. Oh, good golly. Excited, excited, excited. Oh, shit. Small grouping. Ooh, that's a big one. Sometimes we like the big ones. Oh, it looks freaking great up here. I must have done this. Somebody else broke in and did the sidewalls. Ridiculous. Yeah, I definitely did this. Because it looks pretty freaking great. So whatever this looks like, we are clearly not doing drywall. We are not getting ready to put on, hopefully, the last coat. Clearly the clear factors, clearly the clear factors